We are live. We are live. Welcome to day number 3 of this brand building challenge. Congratulations to those of you who have made it so far to this point and you've taken part in both of the challenges that I've given you over the last 2 days. If you're just joining in and this is your first experience of going through it, you can actually join in any of these days at any time because we're working on 5 different fears and it's a different fear every day. So you can jump in at any time and you can always go and catch up. You may notice that if you go up to the top of this group, you'll see in all the options, there's an option called guides. And if you click on the guides tab, you'll be able to scroll down and find the challenge for this week. You'll find all of the replays from this whole week. We'll be going in there so you can go in, you can access them as much as you want, as many times as you want. They are going to stay in this group, so you'll have access to them always. So if you've been enjoying going through this process, please reach out to your friends, your contacts, and invite them to come in and join this incredible global movement that we're building together. This is something that I'm not doing on my own, and I don't want to do it on my own. It's way more fun doing it with you. So oh my goodness. I mean, we've covered so much already, and I can't even begin to tell you how much joy each of you give me when I see you showing up, when I see you posting your videos, when I see you going live. My goodness, I saw some of you go live who I personally know who have massive challenges around going live and sharing what's going on for you, or sharing what you're going to do. And making that declaration yesterday was a really powerful declaration. I am willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that you enjoy your life, enjoy your business, grow your brand, right? That's my commitment to you. But you all showed up yesterday and you made your commitment about what you are willing to do. So I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh. I mean, day 1, we dived into the fear of looking foolish or looking stupid or humiliation. It was the main fear around humiliation. What happens if I step up and I forget my words, or I stutter, or I stumble, or I trip over on stage? I mean, gosh, all these things that could happen to you, they've happened to other people before. Think about that poor guy who came off stage and went to the toilet and forgot to switch his mic off. Right? That would be an incredibly humiliating experience. But you know what? He laughed about it, and so did the audience. They laughed along with him. He was memorable for sure. Right? Some of the biggest names in industry, people that you follow, they have made some extraordinary mistakes. There was a guy, I can't remember who it was like Bob Proctor or someone absolutely massive, and he shared this story where he was so nervous before he went on stage to speak. He got up on stage and he thought he would do a little releasing of wind, shall we say, and he followed through on stage in front of a whole audience of people. And he says into the mic, plain as day, says into the mic, I was so scared about coming here, I've literally just shit myself. And he walked off the stage and the whole audience erupted into laughter, and they sorted him out, and then he came back on and he got an amazing cheer. I mean, there's nothing that you could do that would be so humiliating that your audience wouldn't feel it with you. So we covered that on day 1 about that fear of humiliation and looking stupid. If you haven't had a chance to go back to day 1, go back, review day 1. There might even be some things in there that you didn't hear the first time if you have already listened to it. My advice would be, as you go through this challenge, is to join me for it. And it's lovely to see you. I love seeing your faces all showing up, and I can see all the comments and everything. Keep them coming, because the more you do that, the more it makes me understand and know that what I'm talking about here is something that's needed. And the more you need it, the more I'll do it, the more I'll show up, the more challenges I'll run, the more I'll call you out on minimizing yourself, the more I'll step up and I'll massively maximize myself so that you maximize yourself as well. And the key thing is that as you go through this, if you can join me for this one, but then like go for a walk, do something where you're moving, do some stretching, do something that when you listen back to it again, you are moving, because other things will come to you, and you'll actually go to a much deeper place if you're moving at the same time as tuning in. I do that a lot with the Ripple Fest replays of all the people that I've interviewed over the last, well, nearly 2 years now. And we've got amazing Ripple Maker interviews and lots of wisdom, that when I go for a walk, instead of listening to YouTube or a podcast, I'll go back and I'll look at the Ripple Fest archive, and I'll listen to those amazing replays. And I think, wow, I didn't hear them say that the first time. And yet it was me that was interviewing them. So there is nothing that you could say or do that would humiliate yourself enough that you would die from it. Okay. Yesterday, we then dived into the fear of going blank, the fear of forgetting your content, the fear of not being interesting enough, or not having enough good content to share. And so we dived into that yesterday. If you haven't watched yesterday's, please go watch yesterday's, or if you watched it already, get yourself out for a walk, put your headphones on, walk the dog, do something where you're in movement, you're in flow, because you can't build a movement unless you are moving. And our amazing Donna Riley, who's our Miracles Through Movement mentor within Ripple Makers, she is incredible. And if you're not following Donna, make sure you follow Donna. She's got a movement challenge that's coming up to get you moving, to get you up off your assets and get you moving. You're surrounded by so many incredible Ripple Makers in this community, and they all talk a lot of sense. And you have a place, you have a voice. People will listen to you when you go live in this community. So it's time to use this beautiful environment, this wonderful family that I've been very conscious about creating. I haven't gone out and done ads or anything like that. I've grown this movement so organically that it's only grown through word of mouth reputation, so that people like you, who I like, go and invite other people like you who I will also like. All right. So this community is very conscious. And I want to keep it that way and continue to grow and evolve this in a place where you feel safe, that this is an environment where you can go live, where you can make those fuck ups, where you can do stuff. But here's the thing, we're never going to know you're making them unless you tell us that you are. If you know what your content is and then you go live and you share something totally different, and Abby, you talked about that yesterday in one of your comments, that you meant to go live and do something with your group, and then you ended up delivering something completely different, and then worried that you hadn't delivered the thing that you said you were going to. But obviously the thing that was pushing itself to birth through you is the thing that they needed to hear. And quite often you'll find that, like, you'll plan and prepare and you'll get ready, and then you go, and then bam, off you go, just like I'm doing now. I know what the content is for today. I've got a structure for it, but here I am. I'm just being me. I'm in my flow, and in your flow is where the most magic happens. So don't grip onto your message and everything so tight that you don't allow these layers of yourself, these layers of your history, your wisdom, your stories, those things that just pop to mind, and you think, oh, I'll share that right now. You didn't mean to share it, but what you shared was the thing that they needed to hear. So I hope that you're gaining some confidence and you're getting some clarity, and you're starting to realize some things about what you're doing that maybe they seemed bigger than they actually are. I interviewed a little while ago Simon Ben, who's one of our Brand Builders Club graduates. He's always hanging around in Ripple Makers, and he's built an amazing business, which is very different to the one that he joined Brand Builders Club for, because the business that he's building now, that's his purpose, that's his passion. And as he shared on his interview, he invested a lot of money to go and do a course on podcasting. So he already had this idea that podcasting would be a great way to get his message out there. And one of the things I said to Simon was, well, you're trying to get in the door of these, bigger companies, but they're not saying yes, or they're not getting back to you, and you're constantly chasing them. But everybody loves their ego to be stroked. What if you created your own podcast, and instead of asking them to do business, you gave to them before you expected to receive? Why don't you reach out to these people and say, hey, I've got a podcast. I'd love to broadcast you to my audience. I think you've got a great message, and I'd love to interview you about what you believe is important about blah, 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 right, in his industry. And it's been the very best strategy for him. It's got him through so many doors. He's interviewed people that he would probably never have got a meeting with if he was phoning them to say, hey, do you need X, Y, Z? He'd never got through the door, but now he's getting through the door. The most important point of this point I'm making now is that he'd gone and invested a lot of money learning how to create a podcast. And he thought, quite frankly, fuck that. That's a lot of work. I don't want to be doing all of that. And then I have a conversation with him, and I'm like, why are you buying into this philosophy that it has to be hard for it to be right? And don't we buy into that philosophy in a lot of things? If it's going to be worth it, then it has to be hard. No, right? You have to work hard for your money. How many of you believe you have to work hard for your money? Because that's not a true statement. You can work diligently, you can work intelligently, you can work from a place of wisdom, and you can have mentors that can support you, just as I support you and I support our Ripple Makers Mastermind members. You can have people that guide you on that way and make some things a bit easier. But if anybody is training you in something that makes you go, fuck, that's too complicated, I don't want to do it, then quite frankly, they're the wrong mentor. Everything should be easy. A mentor is somebody who's gone the way, they've gone the distance, they know the way, and can tell you in, say, 10 steps what you would have taken 110 steps to do yourself without them. So things should be simple. And me just saying to Simon, all you need is Simplecast, a Zoom account, which you already have, and Canva. Canva is free. Simplecast is like $15 a month. So what's stopping you from going live? He was like, yeah, but they said that I needed to do all this. I went, no, you don't need to do all of that. Perfection is poverty. Guys, give me a hashtag perfection is poverty in the comments here, because perfection doesn't only keep you poor, it keeps all of the lives that you could touch. It keeps them poor as well, because you go into this, oh, but if it's not perfect, then it's not right. And if it's not right, then it's going to make me look bad. And then if it makes me look bad, then I might be humiliated, or I might be rejected, or blah, 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 right? Blah, 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 lots of blahs. And that fear then leads to another, which holds hands with another and holds hands with another. And before you know it, you're completely paralyzed and you're doing nothing. So it's really important this week that you embrace, which I think most of you have done, you embrace the 1 year no fear. Whenever that shows up, whenever you start to feel that bubble up, 1 year no fear. I don't believe this lie that my ego is telling me. Actually, I have some evidence of those things. Catherine, thank you. You were very vulnerable yesterday in sharing that in earlier times in your life, people hadn't supported you, or they hadn't given you good positive feedback when you tried things. And so you took that on and then made that like a little coat. I'm going to put this coat on, and this is going to be my fear coat, or this is going to be my protection against rejection, right? But the challenge is that when that happened to you, whatever age that happened to you, maybe, I don't know, I'm going to make this up, if you were 12 or 15 or any time in your life up until last week, right? That happened to you. You're not the same person now that you were then. And so that fear, that coat of fear, is a coat you're still wearing. But that coat that you're wearing now, like, give it away. Give it to a charity shop. Like, send it up into the universe, where the universe can turn it into something good and then pour positivity and magic all over the planet. Do what you need to, but give that away. Because let's say it happened when you were 12 years old and that's the first time you experienced that. And so of course now throughout your whole life you're going to be looking for evidence, or actually your ego is going to be looking for evidence that that is true. Oh yeah, that always happens to me. Oh, you know, whenever I go to speak, people don't listen. It always happens to me, right? Because you are now looking for, and your reticular activator is now looking for all the evidence it can find to collaborate with your ego and say, told you so. But that 12-year-old can't run your fucking business. That 12-year-old that went through that had that experience, cannot be guiding your ship right now, cannot be sailing the ship. You need to say, okay, do you know what? I love you. I love that you're showing up for me. And I appreciate that you're showing up for me because you're trying to protect me. And I love you for that. But I'm a big girl now, or I'm a big boy now, right? I don't need you to do that. And here's what I want you to do. I now want you to look for evidence for me on when I show up, how loved I am. When I show up, how appreciated I am. When I show up, how good I feel. When I show up, how many great comments I get. When I show up, I feel safer. Isn't that interesting? Safety in numbers. So we get in fear over that there's like 2 people watching, or there's 20 people watching, there's 200 people watching. Fuck, there's 20,000 people watching. You get fearful about the amount of people, but actually there is safety in numbers. The more numbers, the more visibility. The more visibility, the more people you can impact. The more people you impact, the easier it's going to be for you to get your message out through them. And you know what? And we touched a little bit on this yesterday about content. When we worry about not having enough good content, or am I giving too much content away? Do you know what? I mean, that's a really small problem to have. Oh, I'm going to give away everything that I know. That isn't possible. We talked about that yesterday. But also, what if you did give away everything that you knew? So what? What if you gave everything away that you knew? What if you loved your audience and your tribe so much that you gave 100% of yourself? Like, I'm giving 100% of myself now. I'm not holding anything back. And I don't, because I don't know how. I don't know how to hold that stuff back. I know how to structure things, but I don't know how to hold back. Because if somebody asks me a question, I'll absolutely answer that with all of my life experience, all of my contacts, all of my wisdom, anything. It's like, here you go, have it. And the key thing is that if you did give it all away to the point that somebody could go and change their life with it, happy days. Happy days. All right, you didn't make any money out of it, but somebody changed their life. Isn't that what you came here to do? And you will find that there are more people that actually learn from you. They go and try some things and they start doing it on their own. And then they realize it maybe isn't as easy to do it on your own as it is to have you being there to guide them. And so then they'll come to you, and because they trust you, they know you don't hold anything back. So they'll then come to you and say, hey, look, actually, I want to speed this journey up. How can I do that? And they'll go through your course or your program. So you can't really give too much away. You can't give too much of yourself away. All you can do is minimize yourself and shrink yourself and give the impression that you hold things back. And a lot of you will have been on courses or training where they say to get access to this thing, then you've got to buy this. And of course, yes, certain levels of wisdom, certain levels of knowledge, but it's more about more time. If that person's committing more time to it, then of course that's time that they're taking out of their life, just as you will be taking time out of your life. But what we're looking at ideally, my favorite way of making an impact anyway, is to create something that can be serving on an infinite, unlimited level, like a product or a program, something that's online that can be making a difference one-to-one millions of times. So hopefully you've got over some of those fears, or I've enabled you to think slightly differently about some of those things that we've discussed over the last couple of days. And today we're now going to dive into the challenge of not feeling professional enough or not feeling polished enough. I hear this a lot. A lot. This is something that I think holds a lot of people back, a lot of our Brand Builders Club members, a lot of our Ripple Makers members. Until I do this piece of work with them, they do minimize themselves and they do hold them back quite a bit. Now, I am going to jump into that, but very quickly before I do, I had some questions from some of you about Ripple Maker Live coming up this weekend, which I'm running. For those of you that don't know, I'm running Ripple Maker Live this weekend. It's on Zoom. We're going from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. So it's 5 hours of training, masterminding, getting support on your messaging, your branding, your positioning. And we're doing the same times on Saturday and Sunday. So it's 1 till 6 on Saturday and then again on Sunday. So Stephanie Joe, thank you for your question about whether you can attend one day, because it's literally this weekend and you've already got something planned. The answer is yes, you can. You can attend either the Saturday or the Sunday. It's perfect if you can do both. If not, I am running it again, probably October, November time. I can't remember. The members have got the wall planner of when I'm doing it again. I think it's October. But if you don't want to wait and you just want to get stuck in, I'll just let you know what we're doing as an agenda on Saturday and Sunday now. So you can decide, actually, I want to go do the whole thing, or literally you'll just pay half price to come and attend one of them. So on day one, which is on Saturday, we're going to be working on your inspirational brand promise. So this is like how you show up in the world. This is your commitment to what you are going to do each and every day to grow your business and grow others. And as you grow others, you grow your business. When you help other people to get what they want, you get more of what you want. So we're looking at an inspirational vision and brand promise. That's what we're going to start with on Saturday. We're then going to work on your values and the brand colors so that you can be wearing the right colors when you're going live, when you're starting to show up. You can start to create an anchor in the minds of all of the people that you want to serve and touch by just introducing 1 or 2 colors. And so we'll look at your exact colors for your audience. We're going to look at some brand positioning and messaging around your story, which will massively help you with your social media, your website, when you want to go live. So I'm going to show you some tools as well that I use to make that easy for me. And we'll also be working on how you verify yourself as the go-to person in your industry. So even if you don't feel like you're that person right now, we can at least create the branding, positioning, and messaging around it so you can look at that and say, yeah, I could own that. And it needs to be something that's authentic to you. We're not going to create, loads of branding bullshit. In fact, I'm really against that. So we're going to create really honest, soul-led brand building. That's what we'll be doing. So that's on the Saturday. On the Sunday, we'll be working on your products and services. So you make it very clear about what you do and how people can buy from you at different parts of the cycle. Many of you will only have one thing that you sell. And that's actually really dangerous for your business. Like, what if that doesn't sell? What if people don't want that, but they want this bit of it? So we're going to really dive into your products, your programs, your services, whatever it is you sell or are thinking of selling. We're going to do some masterminding around that so that you go out there and you start selling the right thing in the right way to the right people, and make it very clear about what that customer journey is and how they can get involved and what it means when they join you at each stage. We'll also be looking at your mission and how your mission is how are you going to deliver on that promise? So we're going to look into the how and how you are going to deliver on that and do some really good stuff around that. We're going to be crafting your pitch. So we're going to get started on the crafting. And I also have an online program that I'm going to give to every single person that goes through Ripple Maker Live, so that you can also work on it on your own and you can be shaping it, but then I'm going to get everyone that attends Ripple Maker Live, I'm going to get you into power teams so you're not doing this on your own. And I am in every power team. So as you work through it with your team, I'm also going to be there chipping in and giving guidance and feedback. So you know what to say every single time somebody asks you what you do. So it's £97 for both days or £48.50 if you can only attend one of those days. Either way, it'll be incredibly powerful for you, whatever you do. If you can do a little bit, you'll get some really good value and you'll make a difference. If you can do all of it, you'll make a lot of difference very quickly. So let's set you up with your foundation for your brand and your business. Your business model will come out of these discussions as well. Maybe there's something about your business model that needs to shift and change. So we're going to talk about that on Saturday. And if you are interested in doing that, if you're a Ripple Makers Mastermind member, of course, this is included in your membership. If you're not a member of the Mastermind, then it's 97 quid to attend it, or 48.50. You can come and just pay to play and come play with all of our members and get that support that you need to get started. So drop me a message if you do want to come to that, and I'll send you everything you need to come and join us. All right, so let's dive in to any lurking fears that you have around not being professional enough or not being polished enough. So I want to ask you some questions. I've been asking you questions for the last 3 days because it helps me to understand where you're at. And I think it can help you to understand where you're at as well. So how many of you, being honest and vulnerable, because this is a safe space, how many of you do have a fear about not being professional enough or polished enough? How many of you have that? Let me know in the comments below. And again, this is for you as much as it is for me to know whereabouts you're at on the scale of things. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I do want you to answer them honestly, because it will tell you a lot about yourself as well. And whatever it is that you answer is perfect. Don't look at what everyone else is saying. This is about you. You go through this journey. You do you, right? I celebrate you and I love you and I honor you for being yourself. So answer these questions honestly so that we can really work together in making a difference in these areas, okay? So on a score of 0 to 10, 0 being lowest, 10 being the highest, absolutely shit hot awesome, how confident are you about the way you look? On a score of 1 to 10, how confident are you about the way you look? Because this actually holds a lot of people back. On a score of 0 to 10, this is your next question. On a score of 0 to 10, how confident are you about the way you sound? Your next question, on a score of 0 to 10, how confident are you about your experience and your expertise? Like, how confident are you that you fucking know your stuff? Whether you've got a degree or not. I mean, like, you've got a lot of experience. You've got a unique personal experience of going through what you've been through to get where you are now. How confident are you on a score of 0 to 10 about your experience and your expertise? Your next question, on a score of 0 to 10, how confident are you that you can make a difference? How confident are you that you can make a difference? And a final question for you. How confident are you that if I invited you to speak and I said, hey, look, I've got a thing, I'm going live in 10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes in 10 minutes to share your story or to share what it is you do. How many of you on a score of 0 to 10 would be ready for that? Even if you didn't feel ready, how many of you would be willing? You might have already put a score of how ready you'd be, but how many on a score of 0 to 10, how willing would you be to try? This fear comes up so much. It comes up so much about not being polished enough, not looking good enough. I don't sound good. I don't know what clothes to wear. I haven't got the right background. All these things that stop you from going live and making that difference. Remember yesterday, you made a commitment that you are willing to do whatever it takes for you to make that impact on the lives who need you. So you haven't got the right background. Screw it. 1 year, no fear. Just go live where you are. Go stand by a tree. Do something that just gets your voice out there or gets your message out there. Find a nice picture of yourself. Create a little quote or something and put that out there like I do. You'll see me do that all the time. Because it's a heartbeat. What you're creating is a heartbeat. But I know that when you first start doing this, it's not necessarily so easy. And I have a lot of ripple makers that say to me, Sammy, you make this look so bloody easy. How many of you have said that to me at one time or another? You make this look so bloody easy. How can I show up like you, Sammy? How can I be polished like you? How can I look professional? How can I show up and put my best face forward? Guys, what you don't see is the 1,000,001 mistakes that I make all the freaking time. I make mistakes all the time. What you don't see is my dog barking, or dogs. Actually, many of you do. Many of you do, because I record most of my content live. So many of you do see that. But I just, I've been in meditations. I think it happened yesterday or the day before in the meditation, and the dog from the boat behind us started barking, and that set all my dogs off right in the middle of a meditation. And I just said, if whatever noises you can hear around you, you're going to drown them out. All you can hear is your breath and my voice. And, there's ways to get around it. And you are resilient enough, and you're knowledgeable enough, and your wisdom filled enough, and you're an expert enough that you'll find a way around it, or just ignore it and move on. Right? If you don't make a big deal of it, neither will they. What you don't see is the number of times, guys, that I'm in the middle of recording like a podcast or something, and a gaggle of freaking geese decide that they are going to start mating very loudly right outside where I'm recording that. And I have to stop what I'm doing because I'm laughing so freaking hard that I can't continue. And so I end up recording it again and again and again. And when I'm recording my mini courses and my online programs, you don't see the amount of mistakes I make, or when I fluff up my words. Do you know, I used to be so stressed around editing things and making them all perfect. Now, if I fluff my words, I leave it in. I'll leave it in. And I'll say something like, put my teeth back in, Sammy. And I'll carry on, right? Because I want you to really, really get this, if nothing else today, when we're talking about perfectionism and we're talking about you being perfect and polished, I want you to realize that nothing is ever perfect. First of all, nothing is ever perfect. And here's the most important thing of all: people respect and appreciate authenticity over perfectionism. People respect and appreciate authenticity over perfectionism. So what I want you to do for today's challenge is I want you to find a role model. I want you to find someone who you really enjoy on TV, or you enjoy them on YouTube, or it's somebody you listen to, you love listening to their podcasts, or you see them on social media, you love their Instagram profile and all the things they're posting and how often they're posting. And, I want you to go find that person, because in the beginning, you might not know what your videos are supposed to look like. You might not know what you're meant to look like when you create your videos or when you go live, for example. So find a role model where you see their background. What does their background look like? Do they have pictures in the background? What's their backdrop? Are they sat in an office? Are they recording outside? Are they sitting in a field? Are they stood by a tree? What's the style of their episodes, or their style of delivery? Are they fun? Are they creative? Are they serious? Anything in between, right? So who are they? How are they showing up? Also, look at their outfits. What are they wearing? How do they dress? What colors are they wearing? Are they wearing makeup? What about their hair? How are they doing their hair? Like, look at all these details and find an example of somebody, like an avatar of what you really like. You might actually see one or two and think, yeah, I like them and I like them. I'm going to create something between the two, which is what I did. And when I first started out doing this stuff, because if you aren't an example yet and you're not quite sure how to be an example, then find someone who is. Find someone who inspires you, who's inspiring your audience, because then you'll know what kind of content is inspiring their people, that's getting lots of likes and shares. You can learn a lot from modeling what other people are doing. And look at their website, just look at how they're showing up and follow their style until you find your own style. That's okay. It's okay to model don't copy what they're doing in terms of content, but model what they're doing in terms of how they're showing up. So it makes it easy for you to start modeling success, and then you'll find your own style. You'll get into your groove. So your challenge for today is to go find that person, find that role model. Either take some screenshots of their profiles, Or if you don't know how to do that, get your phone, take a picture of the screen so that you and we can see who it is that you really want to model. What are they doing right? What are they doing really well? And I want you to come back into the One Drop Movement group and post that. Click on create post, upload your images. Tell us, what is it that you love about them? What do you love about what they're doing? What is it that they're doing that you resonate with, that you love, that authentically really like vibrates at the same level of frequency that you want to put out to the world? Who is it? What are they doing? How are they showing up? Tell us why you love it. It's a brilliant place to start, especially if you're not sure how. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon going and doing your homework. I love you. I appreciate you. I respect you so much for showing up for yourself and for showing up for me. And, you know, my mission for you every single time I go live or do something for you is that you'll take even one tiny little nugget away from what I'm sharing and you'll go and do something amazing with it. Because once it's left me, it's up to you. So be that ripple you want to see in the world, make that difference, make it happen, make that change that only you can make, that you were born to make. And I'll look forward to seeing you showing up and shining in the One Drop group to share who you're modeling and why you think they are a great example for you to model them until you find your own way. Take care, and I'll see you in the group. Lots of love. See you tomorrow for day number 4. Mwah.